Hi everyone! Do you want to build a backend server in Python that's fast, simple, and ready to power your web app? You are in the right place. In this quick tutorial, I'll show you how to create a fully functional server using Python and Flask in under 10 minutes. Whether you are a beginner or just need a refresher, let's get started. But before, if you like my content, please share it on your social networks. Add a like to this video and please subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's start. Here I assume we installed, here I assume we already installed Flask. You can do it with pip install Flask. For me it's already installed. So first you have to import it. Then you have to declare your web app. So it's you have to set the variable app. Let's call it this way, flask.flask name. So it will be named with the module's name, serve.py. Then you can define your first route. So here cursor suggests what we can do. You have to put an at, so at app.route. It will register your first route, and we want to handle get methods for them. So this route will only accept get methods, meaning that we won't be able to provide payload, to send a payload to this route with our request. Okay, then you have to define the logic that would be executed by this route. Let's say that we want this route to return the current date to the requester. Here we will return a JSON response. So we are returning a string and as str return type, and we will just do this return date. So as we are returning a JSON, you have to here define a dict, and it will be converted. It will be serialized as a JSON when you do the request. So we are returning a date dict. Here we want just to return the current date. So we do datetime.now, and we format it to have just the date. I think you can also do a .date, but let's keep it like this. Now you have to import datetime, the package to access date and time methods. And here we have defined our first route with its own logic. That's not all. You have to just now add the logic to be able to execute your server. So you have to put this if up, and you can, after this if, just add the logic to run your application. So it will be run in debug mode. Okay. So we can start our server like this. Now you can see we have our server running with so its name is serve. It's run in a debug mode, and you can see it's running on the local host. Yeah, it's the same. It's the alias for this IP address, and it's running on the 5000 port. Okay. Now we can query this route. So let's do curl. We can use localhost directly or the IP address. We are calling on the 5000 port, and our route was registered with date. So we can just do this. And you can see we have the response from the server. If you want to parse a response in with Linux distributions, or even with a Mac, or even with Windows, I think you can just call a JQ, which is a small utility function to parse JSON response. You can just directly use your key name, and it will print directly the content. Nice. Okay, now let's say we want to define a post route, a route that will be able to receive payloads and use the content as a payload to do whatever you want. Okay, now let's register this new route. Let's call it greeting. because it will greet a user providing its name, his name. The methods accepted here are post, because we are accepting a post method, and we won't accept any get request. Now we define the logic. We can directly call it greeting, and it doesn't receive any arguments, and it will return a string like the other route, since we return a JSON response. Now we have to parse the content of the request to receive the content of the payload. To access it, you have to do flask.requests.json. We can do so it's a method. We can call a get method. So our argument will be name. Small syntactic sugar here. You can do this if, and you directly define your variable, which is called name. You can do this. If you have if you have a value in this payload, you can directly return this. Let's say let's call it data. It will be the data of our response, and it will be this, so a string with the name of contained in the payload. And if we don't have any name, then it will return an error response. Please provide your name, and it will return a 400 error code. So by default here you don't have to specify the 200 code, because it's a default. The 200 code is okay, everything is fine. 400 is request malformed. Now we have our route with the response using the payload, and also the error in case we don't provide the correct argument in the payload. Now we can test this. So my route is registered as greeting. We are still running on localhost 5000 ports, and now the route is like this. If I do this curl directly like this, it won't work, because method not allowed. As you can see here, the get method is not accepted by this route. Now we can provide a payload. When you do it with curl, you have to specify the content type. So you have to input -h content type and like this. I think it's like this, application/JSON, and you can provide your payload with -d, and it's a JSON, and the key expected here is name. Let's do it like this, and let's see how it goes. So here my syntax is incorrect. Actually, it's only an attribute we need to access, flask.request.json. If I do my query, my request, and I parse the response with JQ, we want to access the data field. Now we have the correct response from the server. I hope you find this useful. I hope you will start writing lovely backends for your applications. If you liked this content, add a like to this video, and please subscribe to this channel. See you later. Bye bye.